Hello, everyone. Well, it is a Monday, which means it is time for a news recap. And of course, last Monday, I didn't have power. Uh, thank you. Thank you, Ian. But this time I do, which means I have 2 weeks worth of news to choose from. Now, obviously, the best news came out from PulseCon. We did a video on that already. A few more things dropped after that, but we got plenty to choose from, so we're just going to go straight into the most exciting news of them all, investing. So yeah, they did a Investor Day 2022, which is Hasbro basically begging big corporations and big, billionaires to go, please give us money to support our company. This is just how big businesses run. It's not they run off of they run off of loans and investments to get paid back, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's the corporate world. Yada, yada, yada. So the takeaways from this is that we are getting Earthspark Season 2. It's already been greenlit, which is a good sign when Season 1 hasn't aired, but Season 2 was already greenlit. They showed off the Rise of the Beast trailer, which means at least that part is done. They showed off Optimus Prime for the first time. They did officially announce a animated Transformers movie, which they're aiming somewhere along the lines of like Spider-Verse. And then just a bunch of big promises that the company is going to be like twice as big in 5 years. And I saw someone pointed me out to an article where the investors' reaction was basically, meh, same old, same old. The biggest takeaway from any of that is that the contract with Paramount has been renewed for another 5 years, but only for Transformers and G.I. Joe. Everything else is going to go back to Hasbro and their personal studio. I'm mixed feelings here because, okay, we're coming off of the Bumblebee movie, which, okay, that was successful, but only because it was low budget. Now we're back to being a big budget blockbuster again, which was the last time we did that was The Last Night, and that didn't go so well. So when Paramount is not making the right decisions to make that movie a success, I don't know why you go back to them. Oh, especially the G.I. Joe property. Snake Eyes, hello? Like even Retaliation didn't succeed. Like, I think the first G.I. Joe movie was a moderate success, and then they haven't been able to even replicate that. So like I don't. Aside from just keeping things consistent and not having to shop around for another deal, I don't know why you go back to Paramount. Like that does not sound especially good to me. Also, they did also announce that they're going to be a big thing is like fewer, bigger, better brands, which we've already seen in that they are starting to send their lower brands off to other companies to do. Jada Toys is doing Micro Machines now. There's another company that they just got they just did like the deck builder games for Transformers, Power Rangers, etc. And they're now handling a bunch of the smaller board games. They're handling Risk now. So there's a lot of weird restructuring at Hasbro. Not a lot of it gives me confidence, and I don't know how much of that's going to affect the Transformer brand, but it's something to be aware of going forward if weird things happen. But that's investor stuff. But like there's stuff to pay attention in that, but it's not what we're here for. We're here for plastic. Let's look at plastic. So this came out of absolutely nowhere. So Walmart did their own Collector Con, which is just a buzzword for, hey, we're dropping a whole bunch of new toys. They did that right after PulseCon, and they said, we want something for our reveal that hasn't been shown off yet. So they go, okay, we'll keep this one under wraps. And what they kept under wraps was Galaxy Shuttle. Okay, so there was no rumor list that had this character in it. There was absolutely nothing. So this just came out of complete left field. And apparently the head sculpt for this existed in the original Astro Train tooling. So they were planning this from the start. Now, Galaxy Shuttle in Victory was a huge character. He'd have to be like Commander class at minimum in order to be like appropriately sized. But to be honest, it's not a major character in any stretch of the imagination. So I'll take what we got, and just getting a little bit more Victory love makes me so happy, and he does look good. I will say, I do have some issues. I wish there was more black to this vehicle mode. That's a little bit, yeah, just a little bit too many white parts poking forward on the back. So I really wish something would have been done about that, either paint or sprue wise. The shuttle mode looks as fine as it always did. I like the Victory V on the side, and yeah, it's just, the back half still looks blown apart. But hey, it is what it is. I'm not gonna gripe over it too much. I still like this thing. I also like how they've like redone the caboose into being the coal car, whatever you want to pretend it is. I like how they've redone it into a launch bay with a different color that sets it apart, and it's actually kind of colored similar to let's see, what was it? Countdown, like the MicroMaster Countdown base. I like the parallel. I like the parallel. So really good, really good. I'm happy that they figured out another reuse for Astrotrain. I'm happy that Victory is getting a little bit more attention in the Western market. Makes me happy. We got the rumor of the Dino King being on the way. I'm just like itching here. Where's my Deathsaurus? Bring me Deathsaurus, like a proper one. I can only hope. All right, more toys we have to look forward to coming out. We got in-hand shots now of Armada Starscream from Legacy, and he's looking amazing. I've said in the past, aside from some missing color, I don't really see anything wrong with him. I don't mind the fact that his wing doesn't become a sword, because that never looked good before. I'm sorry, but it didn't. I wish it was the energy version. I wish they had left it red instead of going, oh, he can only have like one energon-based weapon. What sense does that make? But he does look really cool. I love that the cannons point forward. They can fit blast effects, so you can have his null laser cannons going off. No space for a minicon on this one. We saw with Hotshot, there's a very obvious minicon port and a very obvious space for a minicon to mount. I would not be surprised to see like a core class Jolt at some point. Nothing like that for Swindle, so we're just going to have to go with just Starscream. But nothing wrong with that. He still looks really good. The underside looks pretty tight, considering what Armada Starscream is. That shouldn't have been hard to do, and apparently it wasn't. There's a little bit of new engineering, I can tell. Like, they've shored it up and made it a little bit more solid. So, good on them. There's the blast effects. Yeah, and he's the same size as the current Voyager, so he didn't really get downsized, which is always good. So, yeah, super excited for this one to hit. Shouldn't be too much longer, because we've seen this one for a while now. What else do we have? Okay, speaking of Jada toys, they have the Metalfigs line, which is their die-cast figurine line. They've been doing giant ones for Transformers, like these, like I say giant, they're like 5 inches tall. It's giant when you're talking about something that's made of nothing but metal. And they just showed off the new 4-pack Optimus, Bumblebee, Megatron, and Optimus Primal. Just throw one random Beast Wars character in there and put an Autobot logo on him. I just noticed that. So we're going to put a Maximal in there, but we're going to call him an Autobot because someone at the packaging department doesn't know the difference. Yeah, this is just a super bizarre. Like, why wouldn't you throw in one more, like, just Decepticon? Why wouldn't you make it Soundwave, Starscream, something? Like, it's just so weird to just throw in random Primal. You can see it's the smaller scale figure on the side. So we're basically getting, minis here. But cool if you like that. Cool if you're a die-cast collector. And, like, I've seen worse. We've seen the Loot Crate Optimus Primal and Beast Wars characters. Like, we know there are worse artistic aesthetics than this. So I can see people going for this. Let's see, on the Takara Tomy side of things, the rollout for the next Trainbot, Suiken, is in full effect. There is a lot going on for this one now. We have a lot of things going on aside from just, yes, new stock photos where, yes, it does look very good. Like, I'm not huge on the engineering of this thing. I'm not huge on like the giant backpack or the combination or how many panels this is taking, but this one I don't mind the look of so much. If I was only getting one, I would probably get this one just for the sake of like seeing what they are like and having it on hand. But they also started showing off video of this, and some really important video that I think we should have gotten a lot sooner, which actually shows us how it combines into the torso mode. You can see these two tabs here, which are apparently what lock everything into place. So at least we have some idea of the combination method now, which is a nice little thing to show off, Takara. Yeah, so yeah, it's nice of them that they're actually now stepping up how much they are showing these things off and how they work. And yeah, when you're asking over $1,000 for the set, I think this is stuff we should have known much sooner. But at least they've done it now. At least they've actually done it. You don't have to spend that $1,000 just to find out for yourself. So I'm still not terribly into them, but hey, it's masterpiece, right? So we gotta talk about it. Moving on, someone else going for something high end. So this is from Flame Toys. We have Furai Action, Leo Prime, and now keep in mind, this is not their model kit line. So this is not a Furai model kit. This is Furai Action, which basically means they have built the model kit for you, pre-painted the model kit for you, and will just ship it to you like an action figure. It is more expensive to do it that way, of course it is, but if you want a professional looking job, if you're not confident with your own painting skills, if you don't want to have to deal with the time it takes to put the model together, the option is available for a few specific Furai model kits. Leo Prime being the second. I believe Optimus Primal was the first. If I get and he looks beautiful, don't get me wrong. Like, it absolutely looks beautiful. Like, I know my model kit skills. I don't mind building a model kit, but there are some times where, like, I just kind of want the figure. And if it also came, like, pre-painted, I don't have to deal with stickers, that's a huge thing for me. I hate model kits that rely on, like, I hate model kits that give you, like, 60-odd stickers to put on. They're all super tiny, and half of them don't stick properly, and the other half have to wrap around weird parts. Like, okay, if you could just paint this in advance for me, that would be great. So that's essentially what this is. Yeah, and there you can see the comparison shots with the Primal. So you can recreate the Beast Wars 2 movie. Yeah, fun. I do like this as an option. I do wish more model kit companies were actually willing to do things like this, because I know there's a market for people who, not that they're lazy, but they know their limits, right? So, looking good. Also just noticed, like, oh, is that, hang on, is that Moon? Hang on. Yeah, it's Moon's head on the tip of the sword. It's Moon's head as the end of the handle. That's hilarious. All right, fun. Points for making me laugh. All right. New York Comic Con came and went too. We got a few new things out of that. Nothing terribly spectacular, but I did want to go through some of the statues that Diamond Select are putting out. There's a lot of oddball merchandise things. The statues always look amazing because they're crazy, huge, and expensive. So, of course, they need to look amazing. It's a really manic Megatron. Also, a reminder, Megatron in Season 1, I don't think ever had the golden disc like this. But it's whatever. It's still iconic. Yeah, everything here, like the statue stuff, looks really, really impressive, as it always does. We're also getting into the Super 7's take on the Super Shogun toys. So if you want gigantic versions of let's call it what it is. It looks like they're reaction figures upscaled to like 20 inches. Like, that's what it looks like. I don't know how accurate that is. I've never bought one of their Super Shoguns, so yeah, whatever. And then mini mates are a thing now too. So yeah, just a lot of little collectible things. I say little, mostly giant collectible things for the people who have that kind of money to spend. I'm not particularly fond of giant things like this, because I have a limited amount of space to store my stuff. But for the people who just want these really big display pieces, oh yeah, these are probably going to be popular. All right. Let's talk a few rumors that came out. So we do have some listings that showed up for potential future Transformer items. Nothing too specific, but it does reinforce a few previous rumors. So this is all in Canadian prices, by the way. So Canadian, so like the first listing is for a brand new Generations collaboration toy, which is $54.99 Canadian. So that's a Voyager class toy. I'm trying to think what would be available. I guess, you know, just about anything. So why am I thinking about it? But yeah, we have no like rumor or indication of what the next collaboration is. It's just nice to see that it is continuing because I think there's a lot of potential to it. We also have Selects 1, which is $35.99. That is deluxe price. You know, I got to make a whole video about this once I round up some data. But yeah, other countries outside the U.S. get reamed as far as pricing goes. So like, I'm sorry to like if I ever complain about how expensive a toy is, I have to remember that it's so much worse elsewhere. And then Generation Selects 2 is the more important one here because it is listed at $300 Canadian, which means the only thing it could be is a Titan. So after Black Zarak, we are actually getting another Titan class Transformer in Generation Selects, which is kind of surprising. And immediately the thought goes to the fact that we may be getting the Guardian robot out of Omega Supreme. The Guardian robots in G1 were basically like you see here. They are, you know, they were recolored Omega Supremes, bulkier models than the original design. And yeah, it's not the first time an Omega Supreme was redone to match one of the old Sentries. Energon did it first. I believe the G1 got a weird repaint in Japan to suit that. I could be mistaken. But it's really the only potential right now because most of the other Titans have been reused at some point or are not viably reusable. Like, are you really going to make Metro Titan? Probably not. Are you really going to do G2 Constructicons? Probably not. So yeah, this looks like the most likely one that we are potentially going to get, unless, you know, someone wants to be crazy and release like Brave Maximus in the US. But yeah, keep an eye out. Keep an eye out, because we might have a gigantic blue boy on the way. Imagine if, like, this is a red herring and we're actually getting Omega Supreme, and they just released this, like, $300 super garish gigantic toy. And I know someone who would be forced to buy it. Alright. More in the silly spectrum of things, there is an official coin from New Zealand. A 1-ounce silver coin coming out for Optimus Prime, commemorating Transformers. You got big 1984 there in the middle. Colored Optimus Prime there on the front. Or I guess the back. This is technically the back. And you get, you know, nice display case, nice collector's box, etc. Another weird thing about this one, and similar to the stamps that we saw previously, Queen Elizabeth II is actually minted on these coins, and this is going to be one of the final coins released that actually has her relief on it. So yeah, so it's going to be a piece for multiple types of collectors here, whether, you know, either a fan of the royal family or fan of Transformers, whichever. Again, more weird collectibles, but I know there's people out there who specifically collect the weird stuff. And the one thing that I thought, maybe I'll make a whole video for this, but the fact is I don't know it well enough. So I'm really unqualified for it. But Magic the Gathering showed off a ton of chase cards for Transformers that are going to be included in the Brothers War expansion. Now, the cards themselves are interesting. They did put Blitzwing in, so I'm happy about that. They are chase pieces. They are going to be like rare to find in any packs, so it's not something you buy like an entire like booster box for, trying to get a whole bunch of them, because you might only get one. You know, and no telling which one. So from what I can actually tell, I also don't know why Jet fires water. I guess they just needed someone in water. From what I can tell, no one is happy about these. I think literally, I don't think anyone is happy about these. So Transformer fans aren't happy because these are chase cards, and getting them directly out of packs is very, very difficult and would be very, very expensive trying to do this the proper way. And Magic fans are not happy because, A, they don't fit in with the expansion at all. So they're just kind of crowbarred in. And they're, from what I've been told, they're not especially great cards. So it's not even something that would work in... it's not even something that would work for a lot of modern play. So it's weird. It's weird. It's unusual. I'm not sure anyone is really going to go after these. The weird thing about these is that there are a lot of them have both standard and shattered glass versions available, and sometimes that there's a lot of weird ones here. There's a lot of weird ones that don't quite make sense because, like, here's Goldbug, humanity's ally, because it's just a reskin of the Bumblebee card, but that's Shattered Glass. He is definitely not humanity's ally. The other weird one... Oh, yeah, it wasn't Bumblebee. It was actually Goldbug. Huh. And there he is on Earth with a teenage-sized Spike, which is literally impossible for Goldbug. Where's the bad one? Here's a weird bad one. So, someone at Hasbro, when they announced these, was, like, super happy because in their head, they went, we got to design... because they identify Slicer as like the Shattered Glass Wheeljack, so they were excited because, oh, we got to design a G1 Slicer. Slicer's a G1 character, you Nimrod. Morons. So, unfortunately, they, instead of just making Slicer, they made a completely new Slicer, which is actually in Armada Wheeljack colors, which seems like what you would do to a Shattered Glass Slicer who was actually a good guy, and kind of play that angle. Nope. We just have a completely random new paint job for Slicer instead of his traditional one. He's still in here as his Shattered Glass self. It was just a weird phrasing, a weird choice of words, because, like, that's G1 Slicer. Like, I don't know what they're doing here. Oh, well. So, yeah, from what I can tell, all of this, all around, might be a bad idea. I'm sure there's people who are really excited for it. I'm sure people will expect me to go chasing after the Blitzwing card. I don't know if I even care that much, because I don't really care about Magic. But I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure for someone it's desirable. Just not me. And yeah, I've seen a lot of people upset over this. So that's going to be my news roundup for the week. So yeah, there's a ton of stuff going on as usual. And keep in mind, like, I'm just trying to keep this under like 30 minutes. Because like there was a ton of stuff that dropped. I'm just trying to keep this to, like, I think the most notable and the most varied across all the news that came out. And of course, PulseCon pretty much took the bulk of it. But other stuff is going on. There's newer Comic-Con stuff going on too. I might talk a little bit more about that because something interesting came up in there. So, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for watching as always. And if you hit the like button, I will like you and appreciate you even more. So, please do that before you leave. So, thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.